Basically, the Californian ideology is this idealized notion that developed in California towards the end of the 20th century that the internet and technological advancement are essentially going to lead to a liberal utopia.
Yeah, so it's like totally the best of both worlds and combines like a right-wing political belief in the free market with left-wing ideas about creative expression and social progress. So like hippies with an Etsy shop.
Well, it's actually really complicated, but the idea is that liberalism, both right-wing and left-wing, took hold in California as technological advancement began to increase, and so as people in this region migrated to the internet, they saw it as a sort of online agora where equality would reign and people would be able to throw off the power of the corporate overlords. That's the leftward-leaning, liberal hippie portion of this ideology. So that was the initial idea, put forth by the likes of Marshall McLuhan, but the Californian ideology has ended up taking a somewhat more complex form than that. Yeah, I would totally agree, because what we get is a weird hybrid where people think the internet is going to create a perfectly egalitarian space, but it's also going to be a perfect free market. That's the rightward-leaning ideology, that there should be no oversight or regulation.
All in all, it's a very helpful tool for understanding how technology and politics have interacted to influence cultural development, though it's also extremely reductive. So, to really understand where this idea came from and what it really is, you have to go back to this guy.
Thomas Jefferson is kind of the poster child for this ideology, and the notion of Jeffersonian democracy is really important to understanding it.
We must throw off the chains of oppression placed on us by the British and become our own men. We are not truly free until we are self-sufficient, gaining our economic independence and prosperity by the strength of our efforts alone.
But Jefferson also owned slaves, so...
Yeah, how are you so into being self-sufficient when, your own ability to succeed is based on someone else's free labor for you? I guess that's just Jeffersonian democracy for ya. That kind of hypocrisy is present everywhere in the Californian ideology. After all, the internet itself is developed not just from a perfect free market, but by an interplay of private and public entities coming together in myriad ways. A unique mixed economy that produced something unique. In fact, in a lot of ways, the West Coast itself is a creation of the mixed economy. If you haven't guessed, I think it's inherently problematic, and looking at how it developed, you can see why.
Oh, it's just like with Jefferson. This perfectly liberal space isn't all that perfect if you look a little harder. It hasn't led to a social and economic utopia where everyone's ideas are shared and valued equally, and where everyone can succeed based on the sweat of their brow.
Unfortunately, if anything, it's led to more divisions and stratification.
Put this theory under a microscope and it begins to fall apart. I've seen it in my own research on social networks in teens. These online spaces offer a stark framework for seeing the reproduction of social divisions in a society still shaped by racism. They don't close social divides, they reveal and exacerbate them.
Yeah, this is totally insane the more I think about it, because it's I don't exactly see a lot of people who've succeeded by ascribing to this ideology sharing that wealth or success. Hopefully we're starting to see and understand that more is needed, and that this unquestioningly optimistic view of technology does more to perpetuate existing social problems than to solve them.
There's always alternatives. Of course there's other options. The Californian ideology is a product of a specific time and place. In a lot of places, the government is much more involved, and the internet does actually function as something of a social equalizer.
In much of Europe, the discussion has been focused on the positive impacts of regulating the internet and ensuring that all citizens are included within the digital future.
And even in the United States, though we're seeing a lot of the drawbacks that come with this ideology, it's not ubiquitous. Technology can lead to social division, but it can also be used to discuss and combat it.
Yeah, so instead of buying into and accepting this ideology that, if you think about it, is pretty pessimistic, we should question it and work to make the internet a place that advantages and prospers everyone.